Okay, so percussion, tuning and tone work a little differently for you guys. So for you today, it's going to be all about technique. We want to kind of go back to the beginning, practice really basic techniques, simple things, make sure we're doing it right, and if we're not, make a little adjustments to that. So the first thing you want to do is grab your sticks. I hope you have sticks at home. I don't know what all you have, but hopefully you at least have some sticks. Grab sticks and practice eight on a hand. And if you've got a pad, great. If you've got a drum, great. If you don't, you guys know you can use almost any surface to practice on, really. But for practicing eights, you want to practice on something a little harder where you can hear yourself. Don't practice this on the carpet or on a couch or your bed or something. But practice eights on a hand and make sure your hands sound the same. Make sure your hands look the same. Make sure you're gripping the sticks the right way. Make sure you're a third of the way up the stick. You're not too high. You're not too low. Make sure it's all in the wrist. Make sure you're not moving your whole arm. Make sure it's just a simple wrist motion, that you're relaxed. Your arms are down to your sides. You want it to be natural. Just practice eights at a time. Make sure they're the same and check all of those things. Just real basic stuff. But I think you're probably going to find you're modifying at least one of those, whether they sound different or you're not using just your wrists, or one of your fingers is doing something weird. Take this opportunity to check those things on something as basic as that. You got a mallet instrument. Hopefully you do. If you don't, it's fine. But you've got a mallet instrument, your bell kit from when you were in 6th grade in junior high. Use that. Go over scales. And you can practice scales any number of ways, but you know that most of our music is based around scales. When you double things that we play in concert band, a lot of times you have what the woodwinds have, and a lot of times they have runs and faster passages. Those are all scalar based, probably 75% of the time. Sometimes they're not, most of the time they are. Practice major scale, practice chromatic scale, practice minor scales. Any of those are fine. Whether you have music or not, you can figure that out without music, or you can even use Google and get music from Google. You've got unlimited possibilities here. When you're doing the chromatic, when you're doing any of the scales, make sure you're using both hands. I teach 6th grade band, as most of you know. I teach 6th grade percussion. We learn the chromatic scale second semester. Our chromatic scale starts on a B flat and goes up to the next B flat. I have them alternate left, right, left, right, left, right, all the way up. So left hand B flat, right hand B, then left hand C, right hand C sharp, and so on. And that way, when we alternate, we have our upper notes and our lower notes, our sharps and flats up here, and our regular pitches here, and their hands alternate which ones are playing the lower and which ones are playing the upper. So B flat, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, and then F sharp. So now my left hand is on top instead of my right hand, and if that makes any sense. But make sure you're alternating hands. Make sure that your hands sound the same when you're playing the chromatic scale, that your right hand isn't louder than your left hand, or vice versa, just like what you do with sticks on eights. Practice major scales with the same idea. One thing you can do if you don't have music, start on C. Do the C major scale, C to C and back down. Real easy. Hopefully you can't mess that up. There's no sharps or flats. But then go to the next one, C sharp. Go C sharp major, from C sharp up to the next C sharp. Everything is sharp, but watch out for E sharp because that's actually F. Watch out for B sharp because that's actually regular C. So there's a couple regular or lower notes in that scale, but you can figure that out. Then go up to D, do D major, then D sharp major, and so on. Try figuring that out by yourself without music. See, you know now what a major scale sounds like. See if you can make the major scale. Figure out those intervals on your own. If you can't, maybe you have music, use your music. If you don't have music, you've got Google. You have the internet, hopefully, and look that up. So those are just some ideas of things you can do to work on technique. Real basic, simple things, which you probably should be doing every day, anyways. But do some simple technique stuff today, and you can even apply that. I mean, the same things you're doing on eight on a hand, you can apply towards any music that you play. You can pull out some music you played snare on before. You can pull out your audition packet for for marching percussion for next year. You can pull out really any, or you can Google. You can just Google snare music, maybe some snare etudes or some snare solos, and just play some of that. But be conscious of what your wrists look like. Be conscious of your grip. Be conscious of your stick height. Be conscious of how your hands sound. Make sure they sound the same. Just real basic technique stuff is what I'd work on today, that will help you long term. Cool.